The alien queen stood at the far end of the bright throne hall, her tall frame covered in layers of silver-blue armor that glowed softly under the crystal lights. Her long tendrils moved like gentle ribbons, flowing behind her as she walked. Even though she carried the title of Queen of Valoria, ruler of one of the most advanced star systems in the Orion Arm, her steps were slow and unsure. She did not look like someone who felt strong. She looked like someone who carried a heavy doubt inside her. The human soldier stood before her, helmet under his arm, battlesuit dusty from the long travel. His name was Captain Aaron Hale, and he had been sent as Earth's representative to meet the Queen after the recent peace agreement. He expected strict formality, maybe a warning, maybe a test. He did not expect what happened the moment she opened her mouth. "I'm not beautiful," she said quietly. Her voice had the softness of wind moving through crystal leaves. "I am ugly." The hall fell silent. Even the guards looked up slightly, shocked by their queen's words. Aaron did not move. He just watched her, calm and steady, the way a human soldier was trained to be when facing something unexpected. The queen's eyes, large and bright like twin suns, did not meet his. They stayed lowered, almost as if she feared being seen too clearly. "Do not pretend otherwise, human," she added. "Even my own people whisper it. My face is strange. My features are wrong compared to the royal line. I am not what a queen should be. RD4. My face." Aaron let out a slow breath, and then did something that surprised the guards even more. He smiled. Not a mocking smile. Not a forced smile. A real and warm human smile. The kind that showed gentle confidence. "Who told you that?" he asked softly. The queen looked at him with surprise, as if she didn't expect him to speak so simply. She expected fancy diplomatic words or a formal apology. Instead, she got honesty. "It is known," she said. "I am tall in the wrong way. My tendrils are uneven. My eyes are too bright. My skin shifts color when I feel strong emotion. The royal advisors say it distracts the citizens. Some even say it frightens them." Aaron tilted his head slightly. He noticed the soft shimmer of her skin, a natural bioluminescent glow that flowed like moonlight beneath water. To him, it looked beautiful, almost artistic. "On Earth," he said, "we don't decide beauty by rules. Someone can be different and still beautiful. Sometimes different is the best kind." She blinked, confused. "It can be," he replied. "It depends on how you see yourself." The queen seemed unsure how to answer, so she turned away slightly. Her long tendrils glowed faintly with a soft blue light. "Emotion," he remembered, she said, her skin changed with feeling. She must have felt nervous or embarrassed. He stepped forward, careful not to move too fast and startle her guards. "Your Majesty," he said respectfully. "Why would you tell that to a human soldier you just met?" She did not turn fully, but her voice reached him clearly. "Because humans do not lie easily about such things. You come from a world where looks are different. You do not fear my face the way some of my own people do. When I look at the humans who visit my world, they look back at me without flinching. I wanted to know why. I wanted to hear a truth that was not shaped by royal duty." Aaron nodded slowly. "So you asked me?" "Yes," she whispered. "I asked." He looked around the hall for a moment. Hundreds of small lights floated above them, drifting like stars in a gentle orbit. The architecture was beautiful, but not nearly as interesting as the queen standing in front of him. "You're not ugly," he said quietly. "Not even close." Her tendrils froze completely. She slowly turned, and for the first time she met his eyes. Her bright gaze was full of confusion, disbelief, and something else he couldn't quite name. "You smiled," she said. "Even when I told you what I am. Subli. In Tamda." "You're a queen," he answered. You're strong. You're unique. Why wouldn't I smile? You do not fear me? He shook his head. No. You do not pity me? No. Her hands, long and elegant, tightened around the edges of her armor. She stepped down from her raised platform and approached him. Each step slow, as if she wasn't sure she should even walk near him. The guards moved slightly, ready to intervene, but the queen raised one hand, signaling them to stay calm. When she was only a few steps away, Aaron noticed something striking about her eyes. Despite being alien, they carried a softness, like someone who had lived too long with doubt and never heard a gentle word meant only for her. Why do humans look at me like that? She asked. When humans pass me in the halls, I see no fear. I see curiosity, respect, sometimes admiration. Why? Aaron thought for a moment. Maybe because humans see beauty differently. We don't follow one shape or color. We look for something real, something alive. And you see that in me? Yes, he said simply. The queen's glow brightened again, then softened. A gentle pulse moved across her skin like a quiet breath. You speak so easily, she murmured. As if your words cost you nothing. Truth doesn't cost much, he replied. She stared at him for a long moment. Then, very slowly, she reached for something, a small crystal tablet attached to her waist. She typed a command, and the floating lights above them dimmed slightly. The hall felt more quiet, more personal. Human, she said. May I ask you a personal question? You can, Aaron said. What do humans see as beautiful? Her voice was soft, almost fearful. What makes a human say someone is lovely? Aaron smiled again, not forced, not uncomfortable, just honest. The queen's tendrils glowed faintly purple, an emotion he guessed was curiosity mixed with nervous hope. What do you find beautiful? She asked. Strength, he said. Kindness. A person who tries even when they feel alone. A person who carries a world on their shoulders but still chooses to care about others. The queen's breath caught. Her glow became brighter, then faded quickly, like a heartbeat she couldn't control. You describe things I do not always feel, she whispered. But they're there, Aaron said. I can see them. She looked down at her hands. Humans notice too much. He chuckled softly. Maybe. Her eyes lifted again. If you could choose, would you say, I fit that description you gave? Aaron did not hesitate. Yes. Her entire form stilled for a moment. Surprise. Then something warm spread through her glow. A soft, trembling silver light around her shoulders. He wondered if anyone had ever spoken to her like this before. Maybe no one dared. Maybe no one thought to look. You are strange, Captain Hale, she said gently. I get that a lot. You do not act afraid of my title. No. You do not fear my appearance. No. And you do not lie when you speak. Not when someone deserves honesty. She breathed out, slow and uncertain, and her glow danced faintly again. She stepped closer, stopping only an arm's length away. Her voice dropped low, almost like a secret. When humans smile at me, it feels warm, she said. Warm in a way Valorians do not feel. When you smiled earlier, I felt something I have not felt before. Something I do not have a word for. Aaron nodded slowly. Humans have a word for it. What word? Comfort. Comfort. She repeated softly, tasting the sound. Yes. It felt like comfort. They stood quietly for a moment, the hall silent around them. Even the guard seemed to sense the shift, something gentle forming between a queen who never believed she was enough and a soldier who saw her differently. The queen finally straightened, though her glow remained soft. Human, she said. Will you join me tomorrow? I would like to understand humans better. I would like to know why your kind looks at me with such warmth. I'll join you, Aaron said. Her tendrils shimmered with a faint purple again hope. Aaron gave a respectful nod. "I'll be here." As he turned to leave, he heard her voice one last time. "Captain Hale." "Thank you." He looked back at her and smiled gently. "Any time, Your Majesty." Her skin glowed again, brighter this time, as if a piece of her doubt finally loosened and drifted away. The next morning, long before the twin suns of Vyloria rose above the silver-blue horizon, Aaron Hale stood outside the Queen's private garden. The air was cool and calm, carrying the gentle scent of crystal flowers that glowed faintly in the early light. The garden was quiet, surrounded by tall walls made from smooth living stone, shaped by centuries of careful Valorian craft. The gates slowly opened as Aaron approached, guided by a soft chime from his wrist device. Inside, the Queen waited alone. She stood beneath a tall tree that shimmered with soft light, its branches swaying as if responding to her presence. Her armor was lighter today, less formal, showing delicate swirling patterns on her arms. Her skin glowed gently silver, mixed with faint blue like morning mist touched by sunlight. When she saw him enter, her glow brightened for a moment, before settling again. "You came," she said softly. "I said I would," Aaron replied with a small smile. Her tendrils moved with a slow and gentle rhythm. "Most diplomats are late when they meet me. Some pretend to be busy. Others avoid meeting me alone. Humans seem different." "I try to be," Aaron said. She looked around the garden briefly before her eyes returned to him. "This place is not usually open to visitors. Only my family once entered here. I brought you because you spoke to me yesterday with honesty. I wish to understand humans more clearly." Quote, in quote. Aaron nodded. "I'm honored you chose me." Her glow flickered faintly at his words. They walked to a stone platform near the glowing tree. It was shaped into smooth seats, cold at first touch, but warming quickly. The Queen sat gracefully, her tendrils falling behind her like long silvery ribbons. Aaron sat across from her, relaxed but respectful. The Queen studied him for a long moment, her bright eyes calm yet searching. "Human. Yesterday, you looked at me without fear. You spoke to me like I was not strange. You spoke as if I belonged." She hesitated, her voice lowering. "Why?" Aaron thought for a moment. In the early light, her glow looked softer than before, almost delicate. He wanted to choose his words carefully. "Because you do belong," he said. "You're the leader of your people. You care about them. You doubt yourself, but you still try to do what's right. That matters." Her tendrils froze slightly, then relaxed. "Humans have simple words, but strong meanings," she whispered. "It is difficult for me to understand how your kind can speak so directly. Valorians often hide meaning behind layers of politeness." Aaron smiled. "Humans can be polite too, but we're also straightforward when something matters. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. She lowered her gaze for a moment. "It matters to me," she said quietly. "I wanted to know why a human did not find my appearance unsettling. Most species do. Even some of my own advisors speak of my features as unusual." Aaron leaned back slightly, looking at her with calm eyes. "Different doesn't mean wrong. You're unique, yes, but unique is good." "Good?" she repeated softly. "Very good," he said. The Queen's glow brightened again, but this time it held warmth instead of nervousness. She stood up and walked toward a small pool near the tree. The water was clear and reflected her alien features perfectly, her tall frame, her bright eyes, her delicate skin that shimmered like living metal. She stared at her reflection with a deep and quiet sadness. "When I was young," she said, not turning toward him, My tutors told me to keep my glow dim so people would not fear it. They said my eyes were too bright, too sharp. They taught me to walk slowly, carefully, so I did not seem threatening. Aaron frowned slightly. He couldn't imagine being told to hide natural parts of who he was. She touched the surface of the water gently with one finger. Soft rings spread across it. When I became queen, I thought the voices would stop. But they grew louder. The advisors talk quietly, but I hear them. They say I look nothing like the queens before me. They say I am strange, unfitting. Aaron stood and walked to her side. I'm sorry you had to hear that, he said softly. She looked at him, her eyes shimmering. Why do humans not flinch at my appearance? Why do you look at me like I am not broken? Because you're not broken, Aaron said. Not at all. Her glow pulsed faintly with emotion. Then she turned fully to him. There is something else, she said quietly. Something I have not told anyone outside my people. Aaron remained still, giving her space to speak. When I glow strongly, she said, it means my emotions are strong. Most Valorians learn to hide their glow. But mine is too bright. Too honest. She looked away again. To them, it is a flaw. Aaron shook his head slowly. To me it just means you feel deeply. That's not a flaw. It's one of the best things someone can have. She stared at him for a long moment, her eyes widening slightly. You think my glow is beautiful? Aaron nodded. Yes. Her glow brightened so quickly that even the pool shimmered with reflected light. She looked startled, almost caught off guard by her own reaction. I do not understand humans, she whispered. I do not understand how your words can change what I feel so quickly. Aaron smiled gently. Sometimes people just need someone to say what no one else says. She sat down again, this time closer to him. There was a new softness in her posture, as if a weight she carried was lighter now. Captain Hale, she said, when you look at me, what do you see? He took a slow breath. She asked the question with such real sincerity that he felt she truly needed an answer. I see someone strong, he said. Someone brave. Someone who carries a lot of responsibility but still wants to do right. I see someone who tries, even when she doubts herself. Someone who cares about how she affects others. And what about my appearance? She asked softly. What do you see there? Aaron met her bright gaze without hesitation. I see someone unique and striking. Someone who doesn't look like anyone else. Someone whose glow is amazing to watch. Someone who's far from ugly. Her breath caught again. For a moment she looked like she didn't know whether to speak or stay silent. Her glow grew brighter, spreading across her shoulders and arms like strands of silver flowing through water. No one has ever said such things to me, she whispered. You deserve to hear them, Aaron replied. Something in the air changed then. The garden felt quieter, warmer. The queen looked at him as if seeing a human differently for the first time, not as a diplomat, not as a soldier, but as someone who saw her for who she truly was. She lowered her voice even more. Human, will you walk with me? Aaron nodded. They walked side by side through the glowing garden paths. The flowers responded to the queen's presence, blooming softly as she passed, releasing gentle lights into the air. The world around them felt like a dream, quiet, glowing, peaceful. After a long silence, the queen spoke again. Captain Hale, do humans always speak with such kindness? Not always, Aaron said honestly, but we try when someone deserves it. She glanced at him. And you believe I deserve it? Yes. Her glow trembled softly, as if touched by hope. Human kindness feels strange, warm. My people admire discipline, strength, logic. But humans show emotion freely. They smile easily. They speak sincerely. It feels comforting. Aaron nodded quietly. I'm glad it feels that way. She slowed her steps until she stopped near another tree, this one taller and glowing with soft green light. Captain Hale, she said, may I ask you something personal? Go ahead. If a human finds someone unusual, different, but still beautiful, do they tell them? Aaron smiled. Yes, they do. She looked down slightly. Aaron took a slow breath. Then he answered honestly. Yes, he would. Her glow pulsed once, bright and clear. When she lifted her face again, her eyes held a gentle softness that was not there before. Then, thank you, she whispered. Thank you for seeing me differently. It's the truth, Aaron said. They stood quietly for a moment. The garden seemed to breathe around them. The Queen's glow settled into a soft, steady pattern, no longer shaken by doubt. Finally, she spoke again. Human, will you meet me here again tomorrow? Aaron nodded. I will. A warmth spread through her glow, bright but gentle. There is much I want to learn. And much I wish to understand. About humans. He smiled softly. I'll be here. As he turned to leave, she called after him, her voice softer than ever. Captain Hale, when you smiled at me yesterday, I felt something new. Today, I felt it again. I do not know what to call it. I see. Aaron looked back at her. We can figure it out together. Her glow brightened softly, like a quiet sunrise. The next sunrise came with a gentle glow over the floating palace. Aaron arrived early again, but to his surprise, the Queen was already waiting in the garden. She stood near the glowing tree where they had spoken yesterday, her tendrils moving slowly in the morning breeze. Her soft silver-blue light shimmered through the leaves, casting gentle reflections on the stone floor. When she saw him enter, her glow brightened this time without hesitation. You are early, she said. So are you, Aaron answered. The Queen looked down for a moment, as if shy. I could not sleep, she admitted. My mind kept replaying our conversation. Aaron smiled. Good thoughts or bad? Confusing, she said quietly. But warm. Her eyes lifted to him with honesty. I wish to see you again. Quote. He felt something inside him soften at her words. He walked closer, careful and calm, and stood beside her beneath the glowing branches. What did you want to talk about today? He asked. The Queen took a slow breath. Her glow changed slightly, shifting to a soft lavender, the color he had learned to recognize as nervous hope. I wish to understand humans more deeply, she said. Not just how they speak or smile, but how they feel. I wish to know why your kind sees beauty in places others do not. I wish to know why you looked at me yesterday with such gentleness. Aaron listened carefully. I can try to explain, he said. Ask whatever you want. She nodded and began walking. He followed her through the winding paths of the garden, where glowing flowers opened as they passed. Small crystal insects flew slowly above the plants, their wings clicking softly like tiny bells. After a long silence, she spoke again. Captain Hale. You can call me Aaron, he said gently. She paused a moment. Her glow warmed again at saying his name. Aaron, she continued. Why do humans care so much about emotions? On Veloria, we see emotions as a private thing, something hidden. But humans show everything. Aaron chuckled softly. We're honest about how we feel. Sometimes, too honest. Emotions remind us that we're alive. They connect us. She considered that. Connect. Yes, he said. When we feel something, we share it with others. That creates trust. Is that what you felt with me? She asked softly. Yes, Aaron answered without hesitation. I trust you. The Queen stopped walking. Her eyes widened just slightly, and her glow pulsed brightly once before settling again. You trust me? She repeated. Even as a queen? Even when you know nothing of my past? Trust doesn't always need history, he said. Sometimes it's about who a person shows themselves to be. She stared at him with honest surprise. And, what have I shown you? Aaron looked at her carefully, not rushing his words. I've seen someone kind. Someone thoughtful. Someone who doubts herself but still tries to be strong for her people. Someone who listens when no one else does. And someone who feels deeply, even when she tries to hide it. Her glow trembled slightly. You see, too much. I see what's true, he replied. They continued walking until they reached a bridge made from living stone, shaped like a smooth arc over a shallow stream. The water beneath it glowed softly with natural energy, making gentle pulses of light. The queen stood at the center of the bridge, looking down at the water. Her reflection rippled slightly. Aaron, she said, yesterday you said something. You told me I am not broken. You're not, he said immediately. She touched her reflection with the tip of her finger. But I feel broken sometimes. The advisors compare me to the queens, before me elegant, perfect, beautiful. Their appearance never changed color. Their eyes did not glow so bright. They did not stand taller than the council members. I do not look like them. Rever. Aaron leaned on the railing gently. Why do you think you need to look like them? Because that is what a queen should look like. No, Aaron said firmly. A queen should look like herself. She turned toward him slowly. Humans use simple words that carry heavy weight, she whispered. You speak with certainty, yet your world is far from mine. Maybe that's why I can see clearly, Aaron replied. I'm not trapped by your world's expectations. Her eyes softened. You speak as if my appearance does not trouble you. It doesn't, Aaron said. Her glow brightened with a soft shimmer. And you still believe I am beautiful? Yes, Aaron answered calmly. Her tendrils froze for a moment as if she wasn't sure she heard him correctly. She exhaled slowly, her glow spreading through her shoulders in warm, silver ripples. I do not know how to respond to that, she whispered. You don't have to, he said. Just accept that it's true. She looked at him for a long moment, her bright eyes full of questions she didn't yet know how to ask. At last, she spoke again. Aaron, what is beauty to humans? You told me yesterday about strength and kindness. But is that truly all? Aaron smiled gently. Beauty is different for everyone. But for me, beauty is when someone's inside is just as bright as their outside. The queen's lips parted slightly, and she looked down again at her reflection. Different. And yet, Aaron said, you work harder than anyone else to care for your people. You show compassion. You question yourself because you want to be better. All of that matters more than shape, height, or glow. Her glow trembled again, gentle, warm, and full of quiet emotion. Aaron, she said softly, humans do not fear my glow. They do not look away when my color shifts. Valorians look with confusion. But humans. She paused. When you look at me, what do you see? Aaron stepped closer. He did so slowly, giving her time to react. When she did not move away, he answered with steady honesty. I see someone whose glow makes the whole garden brighter. Her glow flashed silver-white for a moment, pure emotion, before calming into soft blue. Aaron, why does your presence ease my thoughts? She whispered. Why does your voice steady my breathing? Why does your smile feel warm? Aaron met her bright gaze. Maybe because someone finally saw you the way you always hoped someone would. She inhaled sharply, her glow shifting into soft purple and silver, an emotional mix he had never seen before. They stood quietly on the bridge as the twin suns rose higher, painting the sky in shades of gold and blue. The queen's glow seemed to mirror the sunlight. After a long pause, she spoke again, her voice fragile yet hopeful. Human, may I ask one last question today? Of course, Aaron said. Her tendrils lifted slightly, trembling with uncertainty. If a human cared for someone, truly cared, how would he show it? Aaron considered that. He would be honest. He would stand by them. He would make them feel safe and respected. He would tell them they matter. The Queen looked away for a moment, gathering her courage. He would remind her every day that she isn't, Aaron said gently. Her glow pulsed again, spreading through the entire bridge with a soft radiance. She looked at him, and this time, there was something different in her eyes. Something that had been waiting quietly behind her fear. Aaron, she whispered, when you speak to me, I feel not ugly. I feel seen. I feel strong. I feel enough. You are enough, Aaron said softly. More than enough. She took a small step toward him. For a moment, she hesitated, but then her hand rose slowly. Her fingers stopped just a breath away from his arm, as if she wasn't sure if she was allowed to touch him. Aaron, she said softly, are humans comfortable with closeness? He nodded gently. If they trust someone, yes. Her voice lowered into a trembling whisper. I trust you. Aaron's expression softened. He reached out very slowly, giving her every chance to pull away. When she didn't, he touched her hand lightly. Her skin was warm, glowing softly under his touch. The Queen's breath caught. Her glow expanded, bright and alive, dancing across her entire body in shimmering waves. Aaron, she whispered, what is this feeling? He smiled softly. Something new. Something good. She held his hand for a long moment, her glow warm like a heartbeat. Then she whispered the first words she had spoken to him on the day they met, but differently now, without pain or doubt. Aaron, am I beautiful? He smiled. Yes, you always were. Her glow brightened like dawn. And for the first time in her life, the Queen of Valoria believed it.